Center in high definition. This is News Channel 8 on your side today.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News Channel 8 Today. I'm Rod Carter.
I'm Gail Guayardo. Today is Thursday, March 14th. There's trouble right now on a cruise ship. Adrienne Pedersen is here with details.
Hey, Gail, just minutes ago, we learned passengers on the Carnival Dream may be stuck in St. Martin. There are reports of power outages as well as issues with the plumbing on the boat. Here's what one of those passengers, Greg Stark, told CNN. There's human waste all over the floor in some of the bathrooms, and they're overflowing. The elevators have not been working. They've been turning them on and off, on and off. The ship left from Port Canaveral Saturday. You know, this is just a month after a fire crippled Carnival ship in the Gulf of Mexico. So I'll bring you guys more details as I get them. But now let's go over to Lee Span with the weather.
And you know, it's kind of chilly out there this morning. We have a frost advisory that's in effect for Citrus and Hernando counties until 9 o'clock this morning. So while temperatures are above freezing, you might see some of that frost right on the ground in those isolated areas. Temperatures, as you step outside right now, it's 48 in Plant City, 53 in Tampa, 46 in Fishhawk, and 56 in Sarasota. So a bit chilly, around 55 degrees at 9 a.m. Sunny at noon will be up to about 60 degrees, and the winds will relax. They're pretty strong out there right now, and that's going to allow us to be cool through the evening as well. 64 degrees at 6. Now let's check in with Leslie Lacey. How are the roads looking?
Not too bad of a drive, kind of some odd debris out there on the roadway. If any chance you happen to lose a tire this morning, it might be out there westbound on the Selman, right around Falkenberg. Hopefully that's going to be cleared up soon. Meanwhile, good drive throughout Lakeland, and maybe you didn't lose a tire, but you lost some carpet. There's some carpet on the roadway out here eastbound on the Polk Parkway, right around US 98, so you want to use some caution heading out to that area as well. And a quick reminder, in Clearwater this afternoon, 105, it's going to be congested around US 19 and Drew Street. That's because the Phillies are taking on the Pirates in spring training. That's a look at the roadways. Now let's check in with Rod and Gail.
The world's 1 billion plus Catholics are waking up this morning with a new leader who's already making history. Cardinal Jorge Bergoglio of Argentina, now Pope Francis I, the first ever from the Americans, begins his first full day at the Vatican today. And that's where we find, I should say, NBC's Tracy Potts this morning with a look ahead at the new Pope's busy schedule.
As the much-anticipated white smoke poured from the Sistine Chapel, thousands rushed to St. Peter's Square to see the newly elected Pope.
I've waited here all day, and this was amazing.
Buonasera.
Cardinal Jorge Bergoglio of Argentina, now Pope Francis, winning the hearts of the faithful by asking for their prayers.
I think it was great that he took a moment to pray with us.
It was a sign of humility. It was a sign that holiness is the most important thing here.
Known as a defender of human rights, champion of the poor, a simple Jesuit who rode the bus, cooked his own meals, and gave up the Archbishop's palace for a modest apartment. Habits he apparently intends to keep, joining the cardinals who elected him last night.
As the last bus pulls up, guess who gets off the bus? Pope Francis. So I guess he told the driver, that's okay, I'll just go with the guys in the bus.
He was not wearing the red silk mozzetta with the ermine trim that you usually see the Pope wearing, which is a more formal level of dress. Instead, he was in the simple white cassock.
Today, Pope Francis visits a sanctuary in Rome, his predecessor, Pope Benedict, and he'll celebrate Mass in the Sistine Chapel, praying for what he called a journey of brotherhood, of love, and faith. So now the Vatican begins planning for Tuesday for the installation Mass, and if you thought that was a big crowd here last night, early estimates were that 200,000 to 300,000 people might attend next week. That's the latest from Rome. I'm Tracy Potts, News Channel 8 Today.
Team coverage this morning as Bay Area Catholics are reacting to the selection of a new pope. The announcement of Pope Francis is a joyous occasion for thousands of Catholics here in the Bay Area. News Channel 8's Melissa Beckman is live at Jesuit High School in Tampa to explain how some are celebrating. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Gail. Students here at Jesuit High School study the Catholic religion each and every day, but now all the action at the Vatican is giving them a chance to take part in a historic celebration with other Catholics all around the world.
Hours after the Vatican's announcement of new Pope Francis I.
I think that's one of the biggest blessings, is that we have a new pope in time for Easter.
Hundreds of excited worshipers gathered in Lutz to celebrate.
Very excited. Hopefully that it'll bring the church even closer together, and that we'll be able to share more in love and peace throughout the world.
A local theology scholar believes Jorge Bergoglia's humble life in Argentina will bring a new day to the ancient religion.
People are talking about his humility and his spirituality and his brilliance. I think that plus his ability to speak to the Hispanic community around the world is going to be a great plus for the church.
And at the St. Petersburg Catholic Diocese office, Bishop Robert Lynch celebrated the new pope's status as the first non-European in the millennia and the first Jesuit.
If these are small indicators of what he's going to be like, then I think this is a very happy day.
And most Hillsborough County public school students are on spring break this week, but Jesuit students don't have their spring break for a few more weeks. It will coincide with Easter, which is perfect timing here for all these Catholic students. Now, when they arrive here on campus in about an hour, they're going to start their school day with a special assembly to celebrate the new pope. Gail.
All right, thanks so much, Melissa. Well, later this morning, Bishop Robert Lynch from the St. Petersburg Diocese will join us live in studio to talk more about the new pope and the future of the Catholic Church. That's coming up at 10 a.m. right here on News Channel 8.
This morning, Dante Morris sits in a jail cell guilty of murder. It took a Tampa jury about 5.5 hours to convict him of killing Rodney Jones. Jones died outside this Tampa nightclub in 2010. In addition to the guilty verdict for first-degree murder, the jury also convicted Morris of attempted armed robbery. After the verdict, Jones' sister talked to us about her brother's death.
We care more about our pets, and if my pet was sick and she had to go down, it would be done so with care and love. That was just a very malicious, violent act, and that's how Rodney died.
After the verdict, the judge agreed to sentence Morris at a later date. Morris is accused of killing 4 other people in separate crimes, including the shooting deaths of 2 Tampa police officers.
This morning, investigators need your help to find the driver who hit 3 St. Petersburg police officers with his car and then just drove off. We now have the name of the suspect. Here is 20-year-old Adrian Levitt. He's wanted for aggravated battery. According to investigators, he ran over 3 officers while speeding away from a traffic stop on Monday night. If you've seen him, St. Pete police want to hear from you. Today, a Dunedin family is mourning the loss of a young soldier. According to his brother's Facebook page, Army Specialist Zach Shannon died Monday serving in Afghanistan. Shannon was a Black Hawk mechanic who was recently promoted to crew chief. He comes from a military family. At least 2 of his older brothers are serving. The 21-year-old graduate from Dunedin High School in 2010.
4 California firefighters are recovering this morning after their rig crashed into a tree. All right, check out the serious damage to that truck. The Orange County firefighters were responding to a medical call at the time of that crash. Ladders and firefighting gear ended up strewn across the roadway there. 4 firefighters were taken to the hospital, but their injuries are not life-threatening. A humpback whale off the coast of Hawaii swimming free this morning after getting tangled in fishing gear. The Coast Guard first spotted that whale several days ago with about 100 feet of gear stuck on the whale's tail. A NOAA crew followed the whale for days before finally getting close enough to help it. Wildlife experts eventually used a long pole with a knife to cut the end of it, to the end of it, I should say, to cut off that fishing gear. As soon as the whale was free, it swam off like nobody's business. This morning, it appears there's been yet another manatee death related to red tide. Sad story here. The manatee was found washed ashore on Marco Island Beach. Florida Fish and Wildlife officials believe that the death is a result of red tide. However, a necropsy will be performed to determine an exact cause of death. So far this year, 174 manatee deaths are blamed on red tide.
Former Iron Maiden drummer Clive Burr has died after suffering for years with multiple sclerosis. Burr joined the Iron Maiden in 1979 and played on the first 3 albums. He was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2001. Clive Burr was 56. Justin Bieber pulls out of a performance on his Believe tour. His concert promoter says the singer canceled his second stop in Portugal due to, quote, unforeseen circumstances. Bieber just wrapped up a rocky stint in London where he angered fans by showing up late for a concert. After a strong showing at the box office, Disney is reportedly making plans for a sequel to Oz the Great and Powerful. The film raked in more than $80 million during its opening weekend. No comment about a sequel this morning from Disney, though.
It's 6:40. A car burst into flames, trapping the driver inside.
This morning, you'll hear from the hero who jumped into action.
And I stopped my car and I got out and I could hear this woman screaming from her car, "Help me, help me." So I ran down the embankment.
More details about that incredible rescue is coming up at 6:15 and still ahead.
When I saw the video, I was like, wow, that's a lot worse than I thought.
A skydiver hits the ground at 30 miles an hour and lives to tell the story.
It is cool this morning. The sun has still yet to come up over the horizon. We checked in with our weather watcher, Faye, in Riverview. She says it's 51 degrees at her house. Afternoon highs, though, staying well below average by about 10 degrees with a high of only 67. And chilly again tonight with some frost, a possibility again here in the middle of March. But I'll let you know when we hit 80 degrees coming up. It's 6:41 and you're watching News Channel 8 today.